Have you ever noticed that the strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest? While everyone else is busy trying to prove themselves, the truly powerful individual sits quietly, observing, thinking, and choosing their words with precision. Welcome back to Inner Steel, the channel where we forge an unshakable mind through discipline, wisdom, and emotional control. If you're ready to become someone people respect without demanding attention, make sure you subscribe to Inner Steel and join thousands who are building a stronger mind every single day. Today's lesson is simple but life-changing. Zip your mouth. It doesn't mean becoming silent forever. It means learning that not every thought deserves to be spoken, not every insult deserves a reply, and not every opportunity requires you to announce your plans. The world often rewards those who can control their tongue more than those who speak the most. Words can build trust, but they can also destroy opportunities, relationships, and peace in a single careless moment. Every unnecessary sentence gives away information, emotions, and intentions that others may use against you. Learning when to stay silent is one of the greatest forms of self-mastery. There is an old story about a young apprentice who wanted to become wise. He visited an elderly craftsman known throughout the town for giving remarkable advice. Expecting a long lecture, the apprentice sat down eagerly. But the old man said almost nothing. Instead, he handed the young man a cup of tea and continued pouring long after the cup was full. Tea spilled over the sides and onto the table. "Master, stop!" the apprentice shouted. "The cup is already full." The old man smiled and finally spoke. "Exactly. Your mouth is like this overflowing cup. You speak so much that wisdom has no room to enter." Those few words changed the apprentice's life. From that day forward, he listened more than he talked. Months later, people began seeking his advice, not because he had become louder, but because he had become thoughtful. His silence gave weight to his words. When he finally spoke, people paid attention because they knew he wasn't speaking just to hear his own voice. The same principle applies to your own life. Imagine walking into every conversation without feeling the need to explain yourself, defend every decision, or win every argument. Instead of reacting instantly, you pause. Instead of interrupting, you observe. Instead of revealing every plan, you quietly work until your results speak for you. This is the mindset of Inner Steel. Silence is not weakness, it is controlled strength. Every time you resist the urge to argue with someone who misunderstands you, you protect your peace. Every time you keep your goals private until they become reality, you protect your focus. Every time you choose calm over emotional outbursts, you become harder to manipulate. The loud world may mistake silence for surrender, but those who truly understand strength know that silence is often the sharpest weapon. Today, challenge yourself to speak only when your words add value. Listen carefully. Observe deeply. Think before responding. When you learn to zip your mouth, you don't lose your voice, you gain control over it. And the person who controls their words is often the same person who eventually controls their destiny. Point 2. Not every battle deserves your voice. 500 plus words. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must respond to everything. Every criticism, every insult, every rumor, and every disagreement feels like an invitation to defend themselves. But truly strong people understand a powerful truth: not every battle deserves your voice. Every unnecessary argument drains your energy and steals your focus from what really matters. Think of a lion. It doesn't chase every barking dog because it knows its strength. Likewise, you don't need to explain your worth to people who have already decided not to understand you. There was once a young businessman named Daniel who had big dreams. Whenever he shared his ideas, some people laughed, others criticized him, and a few even spread rumors that he would fail. At first, Daniel fought back. He argued with critics online, defended himself in every conversation, and tried desperately to prove everyone wrong. Instead of building his business, he spent his days battling opinions. An older mentor finally told him, "The people who matter are watching your results, not your arguments." Daniel took that advice seriously. He stopped responding to every negative comment and poured all his energy into his work. Months later, his business became successful. Ironically, many of the same people who mocked him began praising him. His success spoke louder than any argument ever could. That is the power of silence. Sometimes your greatest response is your progress. Remember this: people who constantly provoke you are often seeking your attention. When you refuse to give it to them, they lose their power over you. Protect your peace by choosing carefully which conversations deserve your voice. The strongest person isn't the one who wins every argument, it's the one who knows which arguments are not worth having. Point 3. Let your results speak for you. 500 plus words. Many people love announcing their plans before they begin. They tell everyone about the business they're starting, the body they're going to build, or the success they're about to achieve. Talking feels productive, but words alone accomplish nothing. The truly disciplined person works quietly until results make the announcement. A young athlete dreamed of becoming a champion. Every day he told friends how great he would become. He posted motivational quotes and boasted about future victories. At the same gym trained an older athlete who rarely spoke. He arrived early, worked hard, stayed late, and left without seeking attention. Months later, the competition arrived. The young athlete who talked constantly was eliminated early. The quiet athlete won the championship. Reporters asked him for the secret to his success. He smiled and said, "While others were talking about success, I was preparing for it." That lesson applies to every area of life. If you're building a business, don't announce every step, build it. If you're improving yourself, don't seek applause, keep growing. If you're chasing a dream, let people discover your success instead of hearing endless promises. Silence keeps your focus on action rather than approval. Every hour spent explaining your future is an hour not spent creating it. On Inner Steel, we believe that discipline is quieter than motivation. Let your work become your loudest statement. Point 4. Silence gives you emotional control. 500 plus words. Most people regret words spoken in anger, not words left unsaid. Anger is temporary, but careless words can leave permanent scars. Learning to zip your mouth during emotional moments is one of the highest forms of self-control. There was a respected school principal known for remaining calm under pressure. One day, an angry parent stormed into his office, shouting insults and making accusations. Everyone expected the principal to respond with equal anger. Instead, he remained silent until the parent finished speaking. After a few moments, the room became quiet. Then the principal calmly asked, "Now that you've said everything on your mind, would you like us to solve the problem together?" The parent's anger disappeared almost instantly. His calm silence had prevented a conflict from becoming a disaster. This is what emotional mastery looks like. Silence gives your mind time to think instead of reacting impulsively. It allows wisdom to take the place of emotion. Every time you pause before speaking, you strengthen your character. You become someone who cannot easily be manipulated or provoked. People may control your circumstances, but they cannot control your reactions unless you allow them to. Your silence is proof that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. Point 5. Listen more than you speak. 500 plus words. Most people listen only long enough to prepare their next sentence. Very few truly listen to understand. Yet listening is one of the fastest ways to gain wisdom. Every person you meet knows something you don't. If you're always talking, you'll never discover what they know. A young employee once joined a successful company. Wanting to impress everyone, he constantly shared his opinions during meetings. He interrupted experienced coworkers and believed confidence meant speaking first. An elderly manager quietly observed him. One day, the manager invited him for coffee and said, "Do you know why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth? So you would listen twice as much as you speak." Those simple words changed the young man's career. He began asking questions instead of making speeches. He listened carefully to experienced people, learned valuable lessons, and eventually became one of the company's most respected leaders. Listening builds stronger relationships because people feel valued when they're heard. It helps you understand situations before making decisions. It reveals opportunities that loud people often miss. Most importantly, it develops wisdom. On your journey with Inner Steel, remember this principle: Every time you choose to listen instead of interrupting, you sharpen your mind. Every moment of thoughtful silence is an investment in your future. The quiet observer often becomes the wisest leader because knowledge enters through listening, not through constant talking. And when you finally do speak, your words will carry the weight of wisdom, confidence, and quiet strength. Point 6. Keep your plans private. 500 plus words. One of the most overlooked habits of mentally strong people is that they don't announce every dream, every goal, or every next move. They understand that not everyone celebrating your ideas is truly supporting them. Some people will doubt you, some will discourage you, and others may even compete with you. That is why wisdom often whispers, "Work in silence." When you constantly tell people what you plan to do, you may receive praise before you've earned it. That praise can trick your brain into feeling accomplished even though the real work hasn't begun. Instead, protect your vision like a seed planted in the ground. A seed grows best beneath the soil, hidden from the world until it is strong enough to break through. Your dreams deserve the same protection. There was a young woman who dreamed of becoming a successful author. She spent years telling everyone about the book she planned to write. Friends congratulated her before she had written a single chapter. She enjoyed the attention, but months passed, and the book remained unfinished. One day she met an elderly writer who said, "Stop talking about the book. Start writing it." She disappeared from social media, stopped making announcements, and focused completely on her craft. A year later she returned, not with promises, but with a published book in her hands. Her silence had become the space where success was built. Let your achievements introduce you. The world respects finished work far more than unfinished promises. On Inner Steel, remember this: move quietly, stay disciplined, and let your results make the noise. Point 7. Silence builds mystery and respect. 500 plus words. People often value what they cannot completely figure out. When you constantly explain yourself, reveal every emotion, and share every detail of your life, there is little left for others to discover. But when you speak thoughtfully and only when necessary, people naturally pay closer attention. Your words gain weight because they are rare and intentional. Silence creates presence. It shows confidence. It tells others that you don't need constant validation to feel secure. A respected martial arts instructor was known for saying very little during training. New students often wondered why he wasn't giving endless speeches. Instead, he demonstrated every lesson through calm actions and quiet discipline. When he finally offered advice, the students listened with complete focus because they knew his words carried experience. His silence had created respect long before he opened his mouth. The lesson is simple. You don't have to dominate every conversation to become influential. Sometimes the quietest person leaves the strongest impression. Learn to be comfortable with silence. Let curiosity work in your favor instead of trying to impress everyone with endless explanations. Confidence doesn't shout, it stands calmly. The more secure you become within yourself, the less you will feel the need to convince others of your value. Point 8. Think before you speak. 500 plus words. Words cannot be taken back once they leave your mouth. A single careless sentence can damage a friendship, ruin an opportunity, or create regret that lasts for years. That is why wise people pause before they speak. They ask themselves, "Is this true? Is it necessary? Is it helpful?" If the answer is no, silence is often the better choice. A carpenter once hammered nails into a wooden fence every time he lost his temper. Later, his father told him to remove every nail. When the young man finished, the father pointed to the holes left behind. "The nails are gone," he said, "but the marks remain. Hurtful words are the same." That lesson stayed with him for the rest of his life. He learned that patience protects relationships far better than quick reactions ever could. Before speaking, give yourself a moment to think. That brief pause can prevent countless mistakes. It can save friendships, strengthen your reputation, and help you become someone known for wisdom instead of impulsiveness. At Inner Steel, we believe that controlling your tongue is one of the clearest signs that you are also learning to control your mind. Point 9. Your peace is worth more than winning. 500 plus words. Many people spend years trying to win arguments, while losing their peace. They believe every disagreement must end with them being proven right. But maturity teaches a different lesson. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply walking away. Not because you are weak, but because your inner peace is more valuable than your ego. There was an elderly shopkeeper who was famous for never arguing with difficult customers. One day, a young employee asked why he allowed rude people to leave without fighting back. The old man smiled and replied, "If I carry every stranger's anger home with me, I become their prisoner." Those words revealed a powerful truth. We choose whether to carry conflict with us or leave it behind. You don't need to win every debate to live a successful life. Protect your energy for your goals, your family, your purpose, and your future. The opinions of people committed to misunderstanding you are not worth sacrificing your peace. Learn to smile, remain calm, and move forward. The strongest mind is the one that refuses to become a battlefield for unnecessary conflict. Point 10. Master your mouth, master your life, 500 plus words. Everything we've discussed comes down to one powerful principle. If you can control your mouth, you can begin to control your life. Your words shape your relationships, influence your reputation, and reflect the condition of your mind. A disciplined tongue is evidence of a disciplined character. When you speak less, you observe more. When you observe more, you understand more. And when you understand more, you make better decisions. Imagine two people beginning the same journey. One constantly complains, argues, gossips, and explains every move. The other stays focused, listens carefully, speaks with purpose, and works quietly. Years later, who is more likely to earn trust, respect, and success? In most cases, it is the one who mastered silence before mastering anything else. As you leave today's video, remember this challenge. For the next 24 hours, speak only when your words improve the conversation. Listen more. Observe more. React less. Protect your peace. Keep your goals private until your results speak for you. This simple habit can transform your relationships, your confidence, and your future. If this message inspired you, subscribe to Inner Steel and join a community of people who are building discipline, wisdom, and unshakable mental strength every single day. Keep your mind sharp, your emotions steady, and your mouth under control. Because when you learn to zip your mouth, you unlock the power to lead your life with quiet confidence and inner steel. 11. Learn to stay calm under pressure, 500 plus words. Pressure reveals who you really are. Anyone can appear confident when life is easy, but when problems arrive, when people criticize you, when money becomes tight, or when your plans fall apart, your true character is exposed. Stoicism teaches that calmness is a form of power. A calm mind thinks clearly while an emotional mind makes costly mistakes. Imagine a young firefighter responding to his first major emergency. Everyone around him was shouting, smoke filled the air, and panic spread quickly. His experienced captain didn't yell or run wildly. He took one slow breath, gave clear instructions, and moved with purpose. Later the firefighter asked how he stayed so calm. The captain smiled and said, "Panic never puts out a fire." That lesson applies to every part of life. When your emotions control you, you lose your ability to think. When your mind stays still, solutions become visible. Train yourself to pause before reacting. Breathe before speaking. Think before deciding. Your greatest victories will often come from the moments when everyone else loses control but you remain steady. If this message is helping you strengthen your mind, subscribe to Inner Steel, where every video is designed to build unshakable discipline and mental resilience. 12. Stop seeking constant approval, 500 plus words. Many people spend their entire lives trying to impress others, forgetting to build a life they truly respect. Approval is temporary. Character is permanent. There was once a talented artist who constantly changed his paintings because he feared criticism. Every opinion from others altered his work until none of his paintings reflected his own vision. One day an elderly mentor told him, "If everyone shapes your art, no one will know who the artist is." Those words changed everything. He stopped chasing praise and began creating from conviction. Ironically, that was when people finally admired his work. The same is true for your life. When you constantly seek validation, you surrender your identity. Stoicism teaches that your self-worth comes from your values, not from applause. Let your actions satisfy your conscience instead of your ego. The opinions of others change every day, but your principles can remain strong forever. 13. Build discipline every single day, 500 plus words. Discipline is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in hundreds of ordinary moments when you choose what is right over what is easy. A young man dreamed of becoming a marathon runner, but every morning his bed felt more comfortable than the road outside. His coach told him, "Champions are made on the mornings they don't feel like showing up." The young man committed to running every day, even if only for a short distance. Months later, those small daily choices transformed him into a completely different person. Life works the same way. Reading one page, exercising for 30 minutes, saving a little money, practicing patience, and keeping your promises may seem small today, but they become enormous over time. Your habits become your future. Every disciplined action is a vote for the person you want to become. Don't wait for motivation. Let discipline carry you when motivation disappears. 14. Let silence become your strength, 500 plus words. Not every battle deserves your words. Silence can communicate confidence, wisdom, and self-control more effectively than endless arguments. A businessman attended an important meeting where one competitor constantly interrupted him and tried to provoke him into an argument. Instead of reacting emotionally, he listened carefully, smiled politely, and waited until everyone finished speaking. When the room became quiet, he presented a simple, well-prepared solution that impressed everyone. He won the contract, not because he talked the most, but because he spoke only when his words had value. Stoicism teaches that silence protects your peace. It prevents unnecessary conflict and allows you to observe what others miss. Speak with purpose, not from impulse. Your silence should never come from fear. It should come from confidence. The strongest people don't need to prove themselves in every conversation. They let their actions speak louder than their voices. 15. Finish strong no matter how difficult it gets, 500 plus words. Many people begin with excitement but quit when challenges appear. Stoics understand that greatness belongs to those who endure. Imagine an elderly stone mason who spent years building a magnificent bridge. Near the end of the project, storms destroyed months of work. Younger workers wanted to abandon the project, believing it was impossible. The old mason quietly picked up his tools and started rebuilding. When asked why he didn't quit, he replied, "The storm tested the bridge before it was finished. Now it will be stronger." Life will test your dreams the same way. Every setback is an opportunity to become tougher, wiser, and more determined. Don't measure your progress by how easy the journey feels. Measure it by how much stronger you become through every obstacle. Keep moving, even when the pace is slow. Every step forward is still progress. Your future self will thank you for refusing to give up. Stay committed, stay disciplined, and continue building your inner steel by subscribing for more life-changing lessons. 16. Turn pressure into preparation. Pressure feels dangerous only when you think it has arrived too late. The calmest people understand that pressure is not the enemy, it is a reminder to prepare. Every difficult moment is an opportunity to sharpen your skills instead of doubting yourself. When a challenge appears, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That simple change in thinking transforms fear into focus. Imagine a young craftsman who was chosen to repair the town's ancient clock. Hundreds of people gathered, expecting him to fail because he was inexperienced. His hands trembled at first, but instead of rushing, he slowed down, took a deep breath, and focused on one gear at a time. Hours later, the clock began ticking again. The crowd praised his talent, but the craftsman knew the truth. He succeeded because he refused to let pressure control his mind. Your greatest victories often begin where your comfort ends. The next time life becomes heavy, remember that diamonds are created under pressure, not in comfort. Stay steady, prepare well, and let every difficult moment build a stronger version of you. If you're enjoying this journey with Inner Steel, subscribe and become part of a community dedicated to building an unbreakable mind. 17. Protect your energy from negative people. Pressure becomes unbearable when you allow negative voices to live rent-free in your mind. Some people criticize everything, complain constantly, and spread fear wherever they go. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control other people's behavior, but you can control how much influence they have over your thoughts. A traveler once walked through two villages asking the same question. "What are the people like here?" In the first village, an old man replied. "What were they like where you came from?" The traveler answered. "They were rude and dishonest." The old man smiled and said, "You'll find the same here." Later another traveler asked the same question but said his previous village was full of kind and generous people. The old man answered, "You'll find the same here." The lesson was simple: your mindset shapes your experience. Don't let bitterness, gossip, or constant negativity steal your peace. Protect your mind like a fortress. Fill it with wisdom, discipline, and purpose instead. Calm people are not lucky, they are selective about what they allow into their minds. 18. Accept that not everything is under your control. Many people lose their peace trying to control the uncontrollable. They worry about tomorrow, other people's opinions, unexpected problems, and outcomes that haven't even happened. The Stoics taught that freedom begins when you separate what you can control from what you cannot. A farmer planted seeds just before the rainy season. Days passed without rain, and his neighbors panicked. Some cursed the sky while others gave up hope. The farmer simply continued preparing his land. Eventually the rain arrived, and his crops flourished because he had focused on what was within his control. Worry never watered a single field. Your responsibility is to plant, prepare, and persist. Leave the results to time and effort. When you stop fighting reality, your mind becomes lighter, clearer, and stronger under pressure. 19. Build calm habits before the storm arrives. You cannot suddenly become calm in a crisis if you have never practiced calm during ordinary days. Inner peace is built through daily habits. Read wisdom every morning. Exercise your body. Spend a few moments in silence. Reflect on your actions before sleeping. These small routines strengthen your mind long before challenges arrive. Think of a firefighter who trains every day even when there is no fire. Because of that preparation, he remains calm when others panic. Life works the same way. Build your mental strength before the difficult season comes. Then when pressure arrives, your habits will carry you through. Calm is not a gift, it is a discipline practiced repeatedly until it becomes your nature. 20. Remember that every storm passes. No pressure lasts forever. Every storm, every setback, every painful season eventually comes to an end. When you're in the middle of hardship, it feels permanent, but history, and your own life, proves otherwise. Think of a sailor caught in a violent storm. Instead of abandoning the ship, he trusted his training, adjusted the sails, and stayed patient. By morning, the sea was calm again. The storm had not defeated him because he refused to surrender while it raged. Your current challenge is also temporary. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Stay calm. One day you'll look back and realize that the pressure you feared became the reason you grew stronger than ever before. Thank you for watching Inner Steel. If this message encouraged you, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs it today, and remember, a calm mind is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. 21. Silence is sometimes your greatest strength. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every insult deserves your attention. Truly strong people understand that silence is often more powerful than winning an argument. When someone tries to provoke you, they are often seeking control over your emotions. The moment you react without thinking, you hand them that control. There was once an elderly monk who was publicly insulted by a traveler. The traveler shouted, mocked, and waited for the monk to become angry. Instead, the monk simply smiled and continued walking. Later, one of his students asked why he had remained silent. The monk replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The student answered. The person who offered it. The monk nodded. The same is true for anger. Your peace is too valuable to exchange for a pointless argument. Let your silence speak louder than your emotions. 22. Every failure is a lesson in disguise. Pressure often brings failure before it brings success. Many people quit because they believe failure means they are not good enough. The Stoics believed the opposite. Every mistake contains a lesson that makes you wiser and stronger. Imagine a young blacksmith trying to forge his first sword. Again and again, the metal cracked under the heat. Others laughed and told him to give up. But with each failure, he learned how to control the fire, strike the steel, and shape the blade. Months later, he forged the finest sword in the kingdom. Without those failures, he would never have mastered his craft. Don't fear failure. Fear refusing to learn from it. Every setback is preparing you for a future victory. 23. Gratitude keeps the mind steady. When pressure increases, it's easy to focus only on what is missing. Gratitude changes your perspective. It reminds you of what you still have instead of what you've lost. A merchant once lost most of his fortune in a terrible storm. His friends expected him to be devastated, but he simply said, I still have my health, my family, and the knowledge to begin again. Years later, he rebuilt everything. His gratitude gave him the strength to move forward instead of becoming trapped by regret. Every morning, remind yourself of 3 things you are grateful for. Gratitude doesn't remove your problems, but it gives you the strength to face them with a peaceful heart. 24. Keep moving even when progress is slow. Success rarely happens overnight. The strongest people are those who keep moving when results are invisible. A mountain climber doesn't reach the summit in one giant leap. He reaches it through thousands of small, determined steps. There was once a stone cutter who struck the same rock 99 times without seeing a single crack. On the 100th strike, the rock split in 2. It wasn't the final strike alone that broke it, it was every strike before it. Your effort works the same way. Every disciplined action, every early morning, every moment you refuse to quit is shaping your future, even when you can't yet see the results. Stay patient. Consistency always beats intensity when it lasts. 25. Become the person your future self will thank. At the end of the day, the greatest competition isn't with other people, it's with the person you were yesterday. Every choice you make is shaping the life you'll live tomorrow. Picture an old man sitting peacefully on his porch, smiling as he watches the sunset. A young boy asks him, "What's the secret to such a peaceful life?" The old man replies, "Years ago, I stopped chasing approval and started building character. Every good decision became another brick in the life I now enjoy." The future is built by today's habits. Choose discipline over excuses, courage over fear, and wisdom over impulse. One day, you'll look back and thank yourself for refusing to give up. If this series has inspired you, subscribe to Inner Steel, share these lessons with someone who needs them, and remember, true strength isn't about controlling the world, it's about mastering yourself. 26. Master your emotions before they master you. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against other people, it is against your own emotions. Anger, fear, jealousy, and frustration can cloud your judgment if you allow them to take control. Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural, but they should never become your master. There was once a skilled warrior who was known for winning every duel. One day, an opponent insulted his family just before the fight, hoping to provoke him. The warrior quietly put away his sword and walked away. His students were shocked. He explained, "The moment I fight with anger instead of wisdom, I have already lost." Real strength is remaining calm when everyone expects you to explode. The more you control your emotions, the less anyone can control you. 27. Be patient, great things take time. We live in a world that celebrates quick success, but the strongest achievements are built slowly. A giant oak tree does not grow overnight. It survives because its roots grow deep before its branches reach high. A young gardener planted 2 seeds. One sprouted quickly but withered after a few weeks. The other stayed hidden beneath the soil for a long time. Months later, It grew into a strong tree that withstood every storm. Don't compare your journey to someone else's. Your season of growth may be slower, but if you remain patient and disciplined, your foundation will be stronger than anything built in a hurry. 28. Let discipline replace motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you feel inspired, other mornings you don't. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Think of a musician who practices every single day, even when no audience is watching. Years later, people call the performance natural talent, never realizing it was built through thousands of ordinary days of practice. Success belongs to those who keep showing up. Create habits that don't depend on your feelings. The life you dream about is built by what you do consistently, not occasionally. Discipline is freedom because it allows you to become the person you were meant to be. 29. Your character is your greatest reputation. People may misunderstand your words, question your motives, or spread false stories about you. But your character will always reveal the truth over time. A wise merchant became known for his honesty after returning a bag of gold that no one knew he had found. Years later, when a leadership position became available, the entire town chose him without hesitation. They didn't choose him because of his speeches, they chose him because of his character. Guard your integrity carefully. Wealth can disappear. Fame can fade. But a strong character becomes a legacy that outlives you. Live in a way that earns respect without demanding it. 30. End every day with reflection. Every evening gives you an opportunity to become wiser. Before you sleep, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What mistakes did I make? What can I improve tomorrow? This simple habit transforms ordinary days into steady growth. The Roman Stoics believed that honest self-reflection was one of the fastest ways to build wisdom. Imagine an archer who reviews every shot after practice. Instead of blaming the wind, he studies his technique and improves little by little until his aim becomes precise. Life works the same way. Don't judge yourself harshly, but don't ignore your mistakes either. Learn from them, grow from them, and wake up determined to become a better person than you were yesterday. Thank you for staying until the end. If these lessons helped strengthen your mindset, subscribe to Inner Steel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Remember, true strength isn't found in muscles or money, it's found in a disciplined mind, a calm heart, and an unbreakable character.